The British crown is under the scanner again. More skeletons are tumbling out of the monarchy's closet. Their links with slavery are being published. Headlines say the British royalty sit on a throne of blood, and for centuries they have benefited from it, all while keeping silent. Now the king has finally spoken out. This was after the release of new research. It shows the British monarchy's links to slavery and how one of their ancestors invested in a slave trading company. King Charles III is supporting this research. Reports say he has also given the researchers an all-access pass. Here's more.
For centuries, historians have drawn a link between the British monarchy and slavery. During the 17th and 18th centuries, millions were trafficked from Africa to the Caribbean and North America, and historians have told the world how this benefited the monarchy. But the royal family have almost always been reluctant to address such claims. The British monarchy's historical ties with slavery are being investigated, and new research has been published. It discloses this document. Researchers are calling this evidence of King William III's stake in a slave trading company. It shows a transfer of shares worth over $1,200, with Edward Colston sending it to William III. You may have heard of Colston. He was a 17th century slave trader. And you may remember this. In 2020, anti-racism protesters famously toppled his statue in England's Bristol. It was in solidarity with the US Black Lives Matter movement. Buckingham Palace now says that the king takes this matter profoundly seriously, and the royal household is lending their support to the research. They will be offering access to the royal collection and royal archives. This research could be a healing moment for the UK, Commonwealth nations, and the world. It can even help tackle the problem of historical racism. King Charles may have given his nod, but if he's looking for good publicity, and he desperately needs some, going through his family's treatment of slaves might not cut it. In fact, the entire venture may boomerang on him. The researchers' findings agree with what historians have been saying for years now. The slave trade has hugely contributed to building the status of the royal family. It has grown its prestige and fortune. They have profited from the slave trade, built industries on the shoulders of enslaved people, fueled the expansion of their kingdom by taking advantage of millions of people. The UN has labeled this the greatest crime against humanity. King Charles has previously spoken about slavery. He has expressed his regrets, described the slave trade as an appalling atrocity, and called the centuries of slave trade the most painful period. But he has never apologized, and the world has never bought it. They say Charles is busy expressing generalized sorrow instead of actually acknowledging the monarchy's role. The reign of King Charles has practically not even begun, but it seems like the world is already against him. And he can support this research, but it will not shock anyone when this does more harm to his image than good. Because at the end of the day, the royal family transported millions across great waters in wooden vessels, and their voice was rendered silent. So anything the king says, apart from a clear apology, will not cut it. The future does not want a king, the present is against him, and the past is simply muddy. It seems like Charles has nowhere to go. The emperor has no clothes, and, unlike in the folklore, everyone seems more than eager to let him know.